The equation for Marayong is simple. With 30 points accrued in 11 games to Pond's 30 in 14, Marayong just have to keep winning as they trundle their way through the final 7 games into the run into finals football, which is all but secured for our grand finalists in 2023. But at the eve of finals football, the pinnacle of the Blacktown Premier League 1 will grace us perhaps prematurely, but in a fixture which could crown the minor premiership. There is to be another catch-up fixture in the midweek beyond round 18, which does deflate the significance of the quote-unquote final round of the season. Marayong must take on third place Doonside and second place Ponds in rounds 17 and 18 respectively, with a midweek catch-up to prospect in the interim. Our dear friend Mark DePoli mentioned the double-sided coin of having such a sizable talent pool as does Marayong, which has only bettered the continuity of their dominance over the PL1, with the ability of Haloka, Takal, Cody, Eslami, Saeed and Afori all picking up the slack from one another when injuries and fatigue begin to set in. Where other clubs look to a main man, a select few, Marayong have a plethora of quality to select from, and the headache for Shah Takal is a good one for now, but come finals football, injuries may choose his hand for sure. But if there are more potent goal threats than spaces in the attacking third for Marayong, what does the head honcho of Marayong do? Thankfully, that's not our problem, but it is our delight that we are here to bear witness to the competition's frontrunners here tonight, as Marayong host Riverstone here at Blacktown Football Park in the round 15 match of the round in the BDSFA PL1. Bo Clements with you here to bring you all of the live action for BDSFA. Now on to Riverstone. Regardless of what you may judge them to be, they are dogged, determined, and will not go down without swinging with everything they have left in the tank. A danger to any side holding on to a 1-goal lead, and the ability to withstand sieges of attacking football, scoring 5 goals this season within the first 15 minutes of the match and 2 within the last 5. One of those being an 85th minute penalty in the reverse fixture where Marayong were 2-1 victors, going down to 10 men after Cody and Reese opened the scoring. Reese wanted an early shower and Riverstone fought tooth and nail for their penalty, and although it didn't result in points, their intentions are earmarked by the rest of the competition. We saw last week how important the resilience of a team's football is, regardless of the scoreline, can change the tide in the match. Ponds inched ahead of Eastern Creek, earning the 2-0 lead, but Eastern Creek kept knocking on the door, and their determination paid off. Riverstone took on the Robin Hood of the PL1, Eastern Creek, on Wednesday night and came away with the 3 points, with a Messina goal splitting the two sides. Jaden Snowden was sent off in the 74th minute with a second yellow, but the Gunners held strong, and so here we are. A side that kicks the door in and pillages points across the Blacktown district, Marayong. 3 grand finals in the 21s, reserve grade and first grade competitions are not a feat to disregard. On that day in 2023, they played 3 different clubs in each competition. They mean business. 108 points in the club championship, next to next best Ponds 95. 5 points clear at the top of the under-21s, atop the reserve grade with 2 games in hand, atop the Premier League with 2 games in hand. But with reputation comes expectation. All eyes are on Marayong to perform tonight against the Riverstone side, who will jam the couch, fridge, chair and padlock that front door that Marayong are so willing to barge down. They will fight from the first whistle until matches end. The pressure is on Marayong to win. Riverstone, what have you got in your locker? Do you dare take on the reigning champions on the ground that they lifted the Graham Whitehouse Memorial Cup in 2023? Is there a chance for another smash and grab here tonight? We shall soon find out. Let's have a look at how our sides line up in this ever so intriguing contest. For Marayong, coached by Shah Takal, in goal, number 1, Dean Rogers. A back 4 from left to right, left back, number 9, Gabriel de Oliveira. Number 22, Joshua Ross, in left centre half. Number 4, Wal Reese, returning from suspension in that in the opposite fixture in their 2-1 over Riverstone. Of course, picking up the goal and then the red card. At right back, number 2, Dylan Owusu. In the central defensive midfield spot, number 6, Ryan Colborne. Just further up the road, number 8, Kelvin Afori, and number 10, Majid El Slami, coming off in the 20th minute midweek, but having spoken to the coaching staff, was just a precaution. Number 45, Michael Cody at left wing. Number 16, Patrick Holoka up front. And on the right, number 18, Rivaldo Medeni. On the bench will be number 21, number 13, Benjamin Lamb. Number 14, Nasir Komi, and number 11, Mubarak Saeed. Now for Riverstone, coached by Shane Burge. Missing Anthony Messina and Daniel Salinas due to injury, and Jaden Snowden with a red card midweek, as I mentioned before. We'll line up with this. Number 1, Alexander George in midfield. Number 12, Peter Mapoth at left back. Number 80, Ajak Dang at left centre half. Partnering him as number 26, Aaron Thomas. Number 31, Sham Saeed in the right fullback role. A midfield 3 of number 8, Jackson Laurie. Number 13, Nick George. And number 19, Matty Gray, getting the nod to fill in for Jaden Snowden. In the front 3 at left wing, number 62, Issa Kagbo. Number 29, Sia Mayum at right wing. And leading the line, the equal second top goal scorer in the PL1, number 9, Steve Watkins. On the bench, number 21, Ray Askazi. Number 11, Prince Fadel Mullah. Number 7, Serkan Errol. And number 45, the 17-year-old Aiden Rokas. Just waiting for the sides to embrace the cold here out at Rudy Hill and make their way onto the pitch. So we'll have a quick look around all the results. Of course, the last game time-wise today in the PL1. Over to the PL2, Polonia 3-2. No, apologies, sorry. Polonia and St. Pat's just waiting on their result. Parkley were 3-1 victors over Rudy Hill. Town Rangers 1-0 against Newbury. And Oakville and Glenwood sharing the points with 1 goal apiece. We'll be out at Marayong Park for Oakville and Town Rangers in the PL2 match of the round next week. Live from 6 o'clock. And into the PL1, Ropes 4-0 victors against Prospect. Quakers Juniors 3-0 against the Quakers Tigers, which is having massive implications potentially in the relegation fight at the bottom of the table, especially with Ropes defeating Prospect in first and reserve grade. Points are coming very thin for the boys in blue and red. Doonside has shaken up the PL1 table with a 4-2 thumping over Ponds. And if Marayong can win tonight, we'll go 3 points clear and have 2 games in hands. And as I mentioned before, Marayong will have to take on Doonside and Ponds in round 17 and round 18 before heading into the finals series. Eastern Creek, the real Robin Hood of the PL1, after the midweek result, lost 4-1 to Blacktown Workers. So our teams now come out to grace us on the field. Just a quick change up in the lineup for Marayong. At number 11, the hero in 2023, Mubarak Saeed, will move into the starting role at left wing, and Michael Cody will have to bide his time on the bench. Will no doubt look to get involved later in this fixture.
Premier League 1 men's first grade fixture between Riverstone Schofields and Marayong FC. This is your Premier League match of the round, live streamed on our social media pages. We wish the best of luck to both sides.
So, as I've mentioned before, Riverstone, they're a dogged team that stay in these tight affairs. In their last 5, there's only been 1 game where there's been more than one goal splitting the two sides. It was a 2-2 draw against Quakers Junior, a 2-1 loss to Marayong, 2-1 loss to Ponds, 3-1 loss to Tigers, and then the 1-0 win versus Eastern Creek. So, as Mark mentioned in the mid-season report card, they haven't really changed from that. They're either sticking with them or being stuck with. Another thing I've made of note really is in these tight affairs, particularly Riverstone with the yellow cards, sometimes just losing their heads. They've had 4 double yellows this season. Jaden Snowden being that 4th in the midweek win against Eastern Creek. It was Matt Hoth, who got 2 yellow cards in 8 minutes. Ajak Dang, who got 2 yellow cards in 12 minutes. And Snowden, 14 minutes between his 2 yellow cards. Thomas being the other one, but in the 3-4 loss to Ponds, there was an hour between the cards. So, given those circumstances, look at that a bit differently, but still certainly something for Shane Birch to look into the sheds for. And just calm his troops down. Sure to watch out for the number 19, Matty Gray. Loves to get in the referee's book. Now, player one to watch for Riverstone, as I mentioned before, Anthony Messina, the natural 10, playing in that centre attacking midfield role, injured this afternoon. So Riverstone get us started off running left to right. Laurie into Saeed. Reese, no nonsense, thumping it out. See, yes, just confirming the number 11 of Mubarak Saeed at left wing. Get the first free kick early in this fixture. Laurie on the left peg. It's an absolute demolition job. The 21st, in the 21s, it was a 6-2 win for Marayong, and I believe it was 8 or 9-0 in the reserve grade. Just reconfirming that dominance that they've got over this competition. It's an easy carry for Rogers. Goes long. Looking to find his main man, Holoka. If you look across the goals, you've got Afori on 8, Holoko on 7, Eslami on 7, and the young boy Michael Cody on 5. And then Takal, who's not here tonight. Kevin Guerrero confirming currently off with illness. Just lagging a bit behind on 4 goals. With that many goal threats, it's no wonder that they've stayed at the pinnacle of the PL1 for so long. Saeed being squeezed by Marayong, high up the pitch. Gray gets his pocket picked by Islami. Into the path of Afori. Out wide now to Madeni. And Gray gets away with that one as Riverstone look to go the other way. Watkins dispossessed. Reese coming inside with Saeed, but he's lost out here. Riverstone looking to break away. Out wide now to Kargbo. Kargbo! First shot for him of the evening, and it's, well, it's hit a goal, but not the right goal. Dealt with by Thomas. Going straight from Rogers and then returning it. Reese. Looking for play to run short. It's fallen through to Owusu. Who's looking to sneak it through to Islami. Kargbo can now bomb on down the left-hand side. If he can keep it in, it's still with Kargbo. The deft touch from Owusu will gift Riverstone their first corner of the fixture. Delivered to the back post. Not sure if it did take a touch off anyone. It was, even if it did come off a Marayong, a Riverstone player in the end. So Mapoth with the throw in. Afori back to Mapoth, who's turned it over. Watkins jammed in the tackle there, rugby league style. Nick George dancing around the area and lets one fly. Just skids past the inside post. Rogers firing long. First to Thomas. Locker winning there. It's still anyone's ball until Afori takes charge, the skipper for tonight for Marayong. Saeed did well to cut that one out. Oliveira has turned it over. Nick George now with a chance to run at Reese. Back from suspension. Cutting it back as Nick George. And tucked out for a corner. Majid Islami. A very uncharacteristic opening 6 minutes from Marayong. And Riverstone taking the game to Marayong, you would say. Already having a number of shots on goal. None of them really testing Dean Rogers as of yet. You can't score if you're not having shots. Laurie again. To the back post he goes. Sizing it up was Kargbo. Got right under it. Riverstone are testing Marayong here. Be interesting to see if Riverstone can somehow manage to get a goal early. As we've mentioned before, they've made coming off the blocks part of their DNA, scoring quite a number of goals early in fixtures. Ross letting it go over. Colborne sends it back home. Reese goes long looking for Owusu. Dealt with though by Dang. Another throw in. Taken short, delivered to the front post, flick on by Holoka, it's fallen to Saeed. Mubarak Saeed, no. Important touch there from Riverstone. Not sure who it was with the final touch. They're still with it. Beautiful touch from Afori, and Saeed got the little flick around and was impeded illegally. So Afori will put his head over this one. On the right peg, dangerous area, 4 in the wall for Riverstone. It's Alex George. Sets the boys up. Reese just looking to make him a nuisance of himself. Before he just curls it straight into the lap of George. Nick George has gifted it to Mubarak Saeed. Intelligent touch around Sham Saeed then. He's still going. Mubarak Saeed across the face. It's been kept in. Still a chance for Marayong. And the dancing of Madeni. No match for Peter Mapoth. And will win a foul. Relieve the last 5 minutes of pressure. Marayong have set on this resilient Riverstone side. Alex George going long. And picking up a foul just about 10 meters into Marayong territory. And see Mayum wanting that quick switch, unmarked at the moment. Gabby De Oliveira tucked in. The opportunity is still there for Mayum. De Oliveira wanting to hold on the edge of the area. It's swung in by Cargbo. Nick George looking to get the flick on. Still a chance with Gray. Afori looking to come away with it. It's turned over to Mayum in a dangerous area. Sia Mayum. Matty Gray looks to line up a shot. Well wide of the mark. Marayong being caught out there by the high press of Riverstone, just scrambling to cut off the passing lanes. Turn over the possession. And what's been a few dangerous scenarios. Rogers getting a touch to it was Laurie, out to Mayum. Colborne has his pocket picked by Watkins and is wrestled to the ground by Ross. And a few stern words there from Steve Watkins in the face of Josh Ross. Riverstone's top goal scorer not happy with the challenge. Ross just getting a word with the referee. Watkins also being told to cool his jets. Messina with a goal in the midweek win to Eastern Creek. Marayong 5-1 victors to Ropes Crossing. It's Holoka opened the scoring. Afori, Mubarak Saeed, Madeni, and Holoka once more. Laurie to the back post, punched away by Rogers. And the ball didn't set right. Not sure who that was that was brought down. Mapoth it was. The ball didn't set right for him. But as Lamy got a touch on Mapoth, it's just a late leg into the ankle. Some stern words being shared between Riverstone and Marayong early. Shata Cole wants to just settle down his boys. There's certainly bigger fish to fry as they have to take on Doonside and Ponds later in the month. What a result for Doonside, 4-2 to Ponds earlier this afternoon. Really brings them into contention. We'll actually see them leapfrog Ponds. So they'll go to 31 points. And with a game in hand over Ponds, really making this a 3-horse race. Marayong certainly, if we're talking horses, certainly the black caviar of horses. Been so dominant throughout the year. De Oliveira flick onto Haloka. The touch just going a bit wayward. But still a chance for Rivaldo Medeni as he drifts past Mapoth, drifts past Dane, cut across to Haloka. Islami, Saeed, still a chance for Marayong. They haven't dealt with it, Riverstone, until Gray thumps it out of the area. Colborne, they can go again here, Marayong. Afori, beautiful ball through for Medeni. And Mubarak Saeed just sweeps it wide of the target. Marayong is starting to find their rhythm, starting to shift gears. What about the ball over the top from Afori? Just the deftest of touches to have it come to ground in time for Medeni to get the delivery in. Alex George looking for Nick George. Laurie coming away with Islami. Picked out. Picked out there by Aaron Thomas. Sham Saeed with the throw. Headed back infield by De Oliveira. Afori looking to slice it through to Medeni. Gray plays the ball out wide for Cargbo. Nick George inside to Cargbo. Beautiful ball. An important block there from Wal Reese. Liking both sides. And liking the idea of driving to the byline and cutting it back. We've just seen Cargbo do it. Medeni and Saeed also. Both sets of centre halves will need to be lively to that. It's delivered to the front post, headed away by Owusu. Cargbo can recycle the opportunity. A touch from Gray. It's overhit. No, Cargbo wins it back and cuts it back to Gray, who slices the delivery. And Mubarak Saeed going quickly over the top to his opposite number, Rivaldo Medeni. Early ball blocked by Mapath. Riverstone live to fight another day. But again, they've turned it over to Colborne. Not the first time he's picked it out. Islami has found his way into the Riverstone area. But he was offside. Colborne just bursting out of nowhere with determination to get there first. Doing really well to read the build-up from Riverstone. One of those plays where you really only see his involvements if you just pay attention solely to him, as hands go up for a Marayong foul. Play on. So it's down the line for Watkins, who's gotten the inside of Ross. And Colborne again, beautifully read. Saeed, Mubarak Saeed, great read, but equal to it was Shams Saeed. Reached out and tucked it away. De Oliveira down the line, looking for Holoka. And Thomas has maybe caught a finger in the eye. She's down in the backfield. The referee's called halt. Physio being called on for Aaron Thomas. Perhaps might have been more than a finger, maybe have been an elbow. See if I can see on the replay. Looked like he reacted to it fairly late. Holoka just getting a touch on. Back on his feet now though is Thomas. Drop ball for Colborne. Sends it wayward, but Owusu plenty of time to recollect. It's gone all the way back home to Rogers. Strong header from Dang. Picked up by Islami, who's looked to really pick up all sorts of positions across the front third. Just picking it up off the touchline there. Happy to swing over to the left-hand side and drive through the middle. Just sort of that fourth man being a nuisance towards this Riverstone back line. Afori with the delivery. Perhaps a set piece. Practice from the training ground as Holoka and De Oliveira bomb in from the back post. It's gone to De Oliveira and flicked over his head. And Holoka looking to get the ball in as it cut out by Aaron Thomas. Marayong girls will be here tomorrow from 3 o'clock, taking on another Blacktown-based team in Park Lee. And the match of the round for the Women's Premier League. It's headed away by Mapoth. And Kargbo in the challenge with Saeed has brought him down illegally. And Afori will have an opportunity. 22 minutes played to open the scoring, perhaps. Got a man who scored off a very sloppy set piece last year in Benny Lamb. Afori over the wall into the gloves of Alexander George. Thought perhaps Reese was going to have a swing at that himself. Getting on the score sheet in the reverse fixture. It's fired into Holoka. Marayong win the throw. Had the issue of one ball being in play. The other one will just trickle out. So we'll get back underway with the Wusu. Dang out over the side. Few disgruntled Marayong fans eager to see their side open the scoring here. There's Lamy, goes to the back post, headed away by Thomas. Riverstone turns it over. De Oliveira. There's Holocka with a flick on. Mayum unable to get a touch. Afori. Gray gets right under it. Out to Owusu though as Lamy brings it down. Reese. Great touch by Afori. Mubarak Saeed put under pressure. Has headed it in behind Nick George. Beautiful ball looking for Kagbo, who just overran it. Feels like if Riverstone are going to come away with anything tonight, it will come from one of those two boys, Kagbo and Nick George. As Lamy just pumps it upfield. Denny looked to put the squeeze on Thomas. Laurie stabbed that by Mubarak Saeed. Matty Gray able to sweep it out wide for Sham Saeed. And Watkins with a deft touch out to Nick George. Waiting for red jersey to fill the area. Nick George back here. Off the post by Mayum. And Marayong really testing their luck now. As Holocka wastes the opportunity to go and hit Riverstone on the counter. So, sweet strike from Sia Mayum. Took quite a while to get it down from underneath his feet, but Dean Rogers rooted to the spot. While Reese just able to make his frame as big as possible and narrow the angle down just enough to keep the scores deadlocked here. 26 minutes played, still 0-0. This round 15 match of the round. Bo Clements with you here for the BDSFA PL1 match of the round, proudly partnered by Deploy. Contest has got to the point where we're fighting over throw-ins. How tight this match of the round is so far as De Oliveira put a shoulder in on Mayum. Thomas with the foul. Afori. Marayong. Reese through to Medeni. He's gotten the better of Mapoth, but he's got 3 to beat. Eventually the scramble of Dang recovers for Riverstone, but only momentarily as he turned it around. Afori through for Medeni. Great ball. Medeni cutting it back, and as Lamy opens the scoring. Well, I said Riverstone were really riding their luck with poor distribution out from the back, and you can only give Marayong so many chances before they tuck one away. It was a great ball through from Afori. Medeni clinical across the face. And as Lamy, it was harder for him to miss. Then poke that one home, and poke it home he did. Now Riverstone will maintain this pressure and desire that they've shown so early in the fixture. Mapoth has had it turned over by Medeni. Nafori goes looking for Medeni again. Early ball. And really the best possible result that he could get with Ajak Deng in the way, winning a corner for Marayong. To the back post it goes. Reese, I believe, towering up there to get it. Reese in the battle with Dang. Got right underneath that one. George fires it long. Gray out to Laurie. Gray just looking to switch players. Fell in the lap of our referee. George put under pressure by Colborne, neatly tucked away from the centre back. Well, holding midfielder, I should say. Owusu taking no chances. Headed away by Afori. Afori dribbles it out over the sideline. Owusu first to it. Marayong just showing a bit more desire to get in front of those throw-ins. Touched by Laurie. Mubarak Saeed looking to force him back. Mayum just finding the ankle of Saeed. And Gabby de Oliveira finding the ankle of Mayum as they look to split the midfield of Marayong. Pick the pocket of Afori and de Oliveira taking no chances. Shut the door right in his face. Laurie, can he drop one at the back post and find Cardbo? Look to play it early. Read well by Islami. And Aaron Thomas has misread it. Haloka over the top for Medeni. He's got the pace to beat Mapoth. Still with it. And Medeni pulls Mapoth to the ground. The Marayong supporters not happy with the decision. Just what about the pace that Medeni's got? Looked like he did get the hand over the shoulder and pulled Mapoth off balance. Winston will get the free kick and try to build with Cardbro. Owusu jamming the Riverstone winger there. Laurie tries to find Watkins. George bursting through midfield. Can't get past Colborne. It was a great ball from Nick George, but unfortunately not great communication there with CMA. Reese. Matty Gray a bit too eager there. In the back of Owusu. Ross. Rogers. There's a poor pass out from the back, but got away with it with the touch of Mayum, sending it out for a Marayong throw. De Oliveira. Laurie to Mayum. Great touch from Watkins into Laurie. Over the top for George. And Ross. A bit uncomfortable there with George lurking in the area. Puts it behind for a corner. Mayum taking responsibility on this one. Looks to flick it to the penalty spot. And there were 4 Marayong players all wanting to be first to it. But Denny has got the pace and the fuel tank to pressure Riverstone's defense as he's turned it over. Touch from Holoka has gotten past Thomas. Numbers in the box for Marayong. And Holoka going himself. Trying to out-psych Alex George with 2 numbers on the cutback. Look to sneak it in at the near post. Reese. Under pressure from Mayum. Composed there to nod it back to his custodian in net, Dean Rogers. De Oliveira into Islami. The linesman's flag had gone up. Saved by George nonetheless. Now 10 minutes, 9 minutes of regular time here remaining in the first half. Still just the 1 goal in it for Marayong. Riverstone, if they can go in at 1-0 or perhaps even snatch a goal themselves, still be full of belief that they can pick something out of this result. De Oliveira with his second foul there on Marayong. And Islami read it brilliantly. And the touch from George has presented an opportunity for Marayong. Holoka. Acrobatic touch to find its way to Islami. And Laurie. Sent it up the line, and I believe it may have gotten the touch off Islami. It did. Saeed. Into Laurie. George. Turned it over. Colborne. Certainly won't be the last time I say that name. He's won it again in midfield. Riverstone just coming a bit unstuck. Gray winning the foul, or winning the throw-in, sorry, for Riverstone. In fact, no, it is a foul. Afori just bumping Gray illegally. George gets the touch out to Gray, who looked to volley it out to Kargbo. George got the touch into Kargbo, but was brought down, no advantage there. Looks like the right back, Dylan Owusu, will be getting a talking to. In fact, so too will Kelvin Afori and Wal Reese. All culprits of the same crime. Issa Kargbo standing over this one. 6 minutes left of regular time in the first half. Laurie looking to make a late run into the box. It's an attempted flick on by Gray. These set pieces from Riverstone have really been lackluster, and gifting the opportunity for Medeni to play a beautiful ball through for Holoka, who looked to go around George and forgot the ball, but Rivaldo Medeni was brought down. I believe it might have been Mapoth, if not it was Ajak Deng, looking to get back goal side, just brought down the winger. We'll give Marayong a chance to deliver one in. It's in a bit of an awkward spot, right in the guts of midfield. Few numbers at the back post as Afori floats it in. Ross has a go himself. Not a bad effort, but comfortable for Alex George. Comes off the boot sweetly. Reese under pressure by Watkins. Covered nicely there by Rogers. De Oliveira still with it. Saeed until Matty Gray picks his pocket. Ball into Watkins. And was bundled to ground there by Ross. And no surprise there. That challenged Josh Ross into the book. First card of this match of the round. Yeah, Mayum looking like he's keen to get on this one. So too Issa Kargbo. Can they perhaps flip this fixture on its head with a goal? Kargbo. I'm sure he'd like to have another go at that. Just looking to perhaps try the knuckleball. It was rising and drifting wider and wider of the mark. Flick on by Islami. Rivaldo Medeni. Will end up with the throw. In fact, no, the free kick. It's been a great battle between him and Mapoth, the two number 12s. In that far corner. Pace of Medeni has wreaked havoc in this opening 45 as it's delivered to the back post. De Oliveira jams it free. But Alex George stood strong. Reese cutting out the ball to Watkins. Medeni inside to Holoka. Gray off the shoulder. Thomas out for a Marayong throw. The elevator. Medeni should drop over the shoulder and look to rifle it up to Holoka. Nick George, no options up front. Stutters his run and finds Watkins. He looks to get past look to get past Wal Reese, who has what seems to be a 12-foot wingspan. Can make up ground like no other. Just frustrates Watkins, teases him into the contact. Laurie was first to it, but didn't get a convincing touch on it until Gray has put it up to Watkins. Cargbo. Just seems like Riverstone, they're getting so close, but just that final touch is letting them down. Medeni looks to get one into the area. It's thumped clear well by Thomas. It's picked up on that ball across the face. And Medeni's looked to implement in this opening 45. Came rushing from the 6-yard line to bash it out. As we enter stoppage time. Perhaps a minute or so. Ross over the top for De Oliveira. Saeed gets the nod. And as Lami's continued his run, early ball in for Holoka. And it's found its way to Medeni, who can't return the favour to a 4-y. And overhits that pass with some vigour. We'll go into the sheds with the 1-goal lead for Marayong. Half-time here at Blacktown Football Park. It's Marayong FC 1, Riverstone Schofields 0. Welcome back to the second 45 in the round 15 match of the rounds here at Blacktown Football Park. Marayong look to see themselves go 3 points clear at the top. Two games in hand. My apologies. Marayong and Riverstone both having plenty of opportunities to have more than just the one goal in this fixture so far. And Riverstone, as we spoke about in the pre-game, have really kept at the heels of Marayong, have not gone down without a fight. There's still 45 minutes to turn this one around and put out a statement result. The one thing that has really been the Achilles heel of Riverstone is just turning it over, coming out of defense. That's how Marayong did get their goal. Poor distribution out from the back. So Wusu with the throw now. Owusu. Cut out by Mayum, who's swapped flanks with Isakagbo at the halftime break. Gray fires it clear and gives Riverstone a chance to reset their shape. Colborne, who's been so composed in midfield for Marayong for tonight, and at large for most of the season. Saeed letting it roll through for Holoka. Mapoth getting there in the nick of time to get his body in the way. Laurie goes looking for Kagbo on the right-hand side, but unable to find his winger. Islami with the goal in the 28th minute. Mayum into Watkins, Riverstone's top goal scorer. Ball through for Nick George, but as I mentioned just before we went into halftime, just that final touch lacking for Riverstone, which will give their credit to Marayong, are also doing a superb job at putting Riverstone off. And that lack of composure in the final area being put off by the minor premiers-elect. Laurie into Mayum, and again just poor composure in the final third, turns it over. Deng back to George. Marayong looking to squeeze this back four of Riverstone and turn it over high up the pitch. Thomas able to keep it in. Gets away with that. Fell back into his possession. George having to backtrack to pick that one up. Into Gray. Down the line looking for Watkins. Reese will see it just dribble out for a goal kick. race for finals really getting interesting now, with Workers taking that 4-1 win over Eastern Creek. They currently sit just outside the top 4. Shouts for a Marayong penalty fall on deaf ears as Saeed was brought down to ground, that's for sure. Nick George has his delivery blocked by Owusu. Riverstone just riding their luck here. Got to be careful that they don't let Marayong get a second and potentially open the floodgates as they've done to so many teams before. Reese, a rare lapse in judgment, of course, having spent a bit of time on the sideline through suspension, just a bit stiff. Having lost the momentum of Premier League football. It's sprayed out to George. Watkins holds it up, waiting for his winger to bomb on down the line. Drops it to Mayum. Saeed getting the flick on, and it's the Marayong wingers have also switched sides. Saeed on the right now, and Rivaldo Medeni on the left, which will make it a bit easier for me to distinguish the two Saeeds. Owusu strong there with George, and came to ground awkwardly there in the battle with Nick George. Reese floats it into the path of Saeed. Gets the return ball from Holoka. Thomas looks to get the better of him. Saeed strong. Press up front. Will be turned over to a goal kick for Riverstone. Gray getting underneath it. The ball over the top, Mayum. In a race with Reese, which the centre half, his first two, Matty Gray, a bit shaken up there. Just had studs from, I believe, Holoka left on him. Islami, the goal scorer for Marayong, drops it off to the back post for Holoka. It's a chance for Marayong. Just rolls into the gloves of Alex George. George getting right underneath it. Cardbo wanting nothing to do with it. Watkins drops it off to Nick George, and it was a great ball. Superbly read there by Reese. Watkins blocking the clearance. Only rebounding back into the path of Dean Rogers. He's not had too much to do. Riverstone creating plenty of chances, but really struggling to find the target. Test the Marayong goalkeeper. Cargbo just got caught there by Colborne. Laurie looking to go quick through Nick George. Gioleveda rushing out, closing down the angle. Laurie, Grade with it now. Look to turn away from danger and opted to go back to Alex George. Nick George, beautiful ball looking for Mayum. Wrestling with Reese. Reese, with a much larger frame, comes out on top. Saeed, reverse pass looking for Holoka. Linesman's flag had stayed down. Beautiful touch from Owusu. Brought to ground there. Mayum just getting a touch, and he's, in fact, going to end up in the book here. One yellow card apiece, one for Sia Mayum for Riverstone, one for Joshua Ross for Marayong. Quick shout out to Jimmy Meeker and Matty Hopkins, old Riverstone boys, and Nathan from Glenwood down here tonight. Support their old club. Reese looks to deliver it into the area. It's not been dealt with just yet. Dang hoofs it upfield. And Nick George looking to scramble has found its way to Islami. Delivery into Holoka. George comes away with it. Touch from Mayum. Gray. Deft touch around Mubarak Saeed. Great composure in midfield. Former Greystanes and Winston Hills Bear. Second year with the Gunners. Gioleveda looking to dance around Cargbo, and he's gotten away with it. Beautiful switch of play from Afori, looking for Owusu, but Mapoth has gotten the better of him and can now go the other way. Ball into Watkins. Colborne laying it back to Cargbo. Rogers fires it clear. Islami being pressed. Islami just a bit lazy there, turns it over. Not on from Watkins. Reese put under pressure. And Reese just looked to thump it into Mayum. Watkins delivery into the front post. Dang is in some discomfort there. Just came down awkwardly, battling with Mubarak Saeed. Physio just tending to him. As it might be last involvement he has. Kevin Guerrero just ushering a few words out to Kelvin Ofori and Patrick Holoka. Owusu into the path of Mubarak Saeed. 3 gunners to beat, and he's opened up half a yard, gets a delivery into the box. And Dang back on his feet. And a bit left there on Saeed by Mapoth. The two boys help each other to their feet. No malice in the challenge, just a bit of an awkward coming together. Still no changes yet to be made by either side. Reese just trailing into the box. The extra number ends. Just rising. Medeni with the touch. That was Owusu. Was able to get to it first, but not over the top of it. It's one of those ones where he's sort of leaning back for it to even make contact with it. Just smashed off the forehead over the top. Murray in the battle with Ofori. Reese into Medeni. Gets a poor touch, which is swept up by Thomas. Saeed. Marayong. Bit poor in midfield with their distribution as of late. Sierra Mayum, who's been a nuisance in this second half towards Reese and Owusu, who's won a corner for Riverstone. Nick George to the front post. Matty Gray putting it back in the mix. Laurie on the left peg. Gets it on target, but right into the path of Rogers. Bit of a calamity at the back. Alex George just wrong-footed there. Thomas looked to nod it back. Just away from the danger of Patrick Holoka. Was presented possibly a different set of problems. Forey to take the corner. Medeni, the short option. George not sure whether to come or go, and it's a scramble in the box. It's dealt with by Alex George, who goes long looking for Nick George. Colborne, a rare mistake. Nick George one-on-one with Roll Reese. And Dean Rogers, who is not set, but able to get a crucial touch. Keeps the lead for Marayong. Has turned it over straight away to Mapoth. Gray cut out by Owusu. It's getting scrappy now between the two sides coming through midfield. And it's continued that way. Commentator's curse picking up Kelvin Afori as its next victim. Mapoth. Mapoth and Afori coming into a bit of a tussle on the fence. And Mubarak Saeed was meant to start on the bench. Got the nod ahead of Michael Cody just moments before kickoff. I believe it will be that young man to come on and inject some youth and speed to match Rivaldo Medeni. Just wait to get confirmation on that. Out in the left wing role is Rivaldo Medeni, gets past Thomas. Matty Gray taking no chances. Yes, it is number 45, Michael Cody. 5 goals already after being entrusted with a first grade role after playing such a pivotal role in 2023 for the 21s. So they just rolled through the PL1 competition in the 21s and defeated Quakers Tigers in the grand final. Dang nearly sends it goalward. Turns it into another Marayong corner. Medeni to take. Marayong players getting mixed up. Haloka recycling the opportunity. Still a chance. Owusu. Riverstone really riding their luck now. Marayong unfortunate not to have a second or even third here. Ball just stuck underneath the benches at the minute. Eventually wrenched free. Owusu. Into Haloka. Darted past Mapoth. And then bear hugged Ajak Deng trying to get around him. And the Gunners will go to their bench. Be number 29, Sia Mayum, given his marching orders. Booked earlier in the match, the only Riverstone player, and as I mentioned before, the double yellows really being an issue for the Gunners. So Issa Kagbo slide over to the left-hand side. Reese turns it over to the young lad, Aiden Rockhouse, 17 years old. Nick George fires one away. Josh Ross, the important block. Just over 20 minutes left to play here. 1 goal lead for Marayong. Can Eastern Creek, or can Riverstone do what Eastern Creek did last week? Ride their luck through the ample opportunities of the opposition and pop up out the other end with the points in their hand. Ajak Dang rising but unable to make any meaningful contact with it. Mapoth into Matty Gray. Put under pressure by Cody. And how impressive has this young lad been, making his mark from day dot on the PL1. Wouldn't be surprised if Spartans or Nepean come sniffing for his services. Mapoth, particularly as Nepean something of an injury crisis in the NPL League One men's, fighting in their own relegation battle. Spartans, of course, sharing Blacktown Football Park with BDSFA in much better fortune. Cody just turns it over. Poor touch just gets away from him, and he's intercepted this one, but turned it over just as quickly. Matty Gray, cheeky there to nod it around Medeni. Cargbo gets around Owusu like he's not even there. To the back post he goes. Rockhouse. Matty Gray into George. Still a chance for Riverstone. Mapworth! I'm sure the eyes would have lit up for Rockhouse. And how quickly that opportunity closed down. A real welcome to PL1. Of course, not the first time he's played first grade football against the top boys. This is as hard as it's going to get for him. Medeni. Halokka still with it. Looks at it. See it roll past him. Couldn't get the bounce right. Rockhouse. Beautiful there, dribbling through the midfield of Marayong. Nick George hacked into. It's been impressive opening performance from Rockhouse as he's looked to get involved against a Forey. Early ball blocked by a Forey, gets another one to the back post, looking for Watkins. And perhaps is this the injection that Riverstone need? Riverstone have found a new level since Rockhouse has come on. Is that new level going to turn into a goal? Gray. With it again is Gray. Rockhouse just trailing offside. Comes back to receive. Skips past the lunging challenge of De Oliveira, but the fullback just bringing him to ground. Now two of Marayong's defenders on thin ice. With a set piece coming their way. Jackson Laurie on the left peg to try and deceive Rogers and maybe get a goal. Through the wall he goes. It's a comfortable save for Rogers. Dang, unable to get a convincing touch on it as Halokka runs into Mapoth, who does really well to win there. Laurie under pressure. Turns here, there, and everywhere. Manages to squeeze it to Mapoth. Thomas having enough of The midfield riding their luck, just thumps it clear. Nick George. Beautiful feet there to get past Colborne. Cargbo drives inside. Nick George open on the left. Eventually the touch off the Marayong defender just sends it into the path of Rogers. It was Owusu who just jammed it. As Cargbo looked to sneak it through. Watkins drops it off to Laurie, and George has gotten in behind Frost. George just wide of the mark. Quite possibly one of the best chances that Riverstone's had this afternoon. Both Reese and Ross making errors simultaneously. Doubt they'll ever get an opportunity as clear-cut as that. Really have to be hitting the target. De Oliveira, Afori jumped and saw it bounce right by him. The skipper sends a bit of a hospital pass to Ross. Rogers looking for Cody. Holoka, great vision to find Rivaldo Medeni, who he himself looks to line one up. And the cross-come shot. Goal kick for Riverstone. We're into the final quarter of an hour. Nodded on by Watkins. Reese returns serve. Cody. Afori, how will Marayong deal with this pressure that Riverstone are putting on them? Cody dropping it off. Still the 1-goal lead, but I can change at any moment. Cody. Rough touches poked away by Mapoth. Laurie able to squeeze it through a keyhole. Cargbo. Got a rough touch there by Colborne. Afori. Islami. Medeni. Brilliant work there to feed through Michael Cody. Linesman's flag has gone up. And Islami wasn't happy with that. Not too sure on the replay. It was quite tight between Michael Cody and Ajak Deng. Hard to tell from this angle. Play on nevertheless as George goes looking for Watkins. Islami, Colborne. Fori waiting for what seemed an eternity to receive the ball. Sham Saeed gives the foul over to Patrick Holoka. Still in with a chance, Riverstone. You think, what would this game be like if we still had Anthony Messina and Daniel Salinas in the squad? Headed away by Dang. Islami. Touch doesn't fall favorably for him. Just overhits the through ball. "11 minutes of regular time here. Blacktown Football Park. Bo Clements with you here for BDSFA round 15, match of the round in the men's PL1. I mentioned before, Doonside defeating Ponds to go second. And Marayong will certainly like the sound of that, those two teams taking points off one another. Islami into Madeni. Cody out on this right-hand side. Mapoth out of position, and beautiful tackle there from Aaron Thomas to turn it over. George. Watkins just unable to get that crucial touch. Rockers pressing down Owusu. And Reese slices it. Watkins into Rockas. Tries to get past the other young lad on the field, Cody. Laurie will get another chance to float one into the area. Watkins to the front post, headed away by Owusu. Rockas being pressured by Cody, back to Thomas. Laurie looks to go the way it came. Gray let it run through, but Halok is intercepted. And Thomas with two big challenges in less than a minute. It's found its way out wide for George. George got past 2 and 3, but was brought down in the end by Gabby de Oliveira. Got to be careful here on a yellow already. Just came in and looked like he got the knee in the rib cage. Gabby had stumbled into the challenge and George was already on his way down. Looks like de Oliveira has come off second best in that one. Cody, the sole Marayong boy, out of the box on the potential counter-attack. Saw plenty of those late on in the under-21s grand final. As Quakers Tigers look to chase the game, Marayong burst on the counter-attack a number of times and did eventually find the back of the net with one of them to seal the game, make it 4-2. Off the side goes Gabby de Oliveira, who's struggled to get to his feet. That will be an end to his night. Number 14, Nasir Comey, looking to come on, having played a part in the reserve grade game earlier tonight. Rockas to swing this one in. And it's been, well, the touch was come off Nasir Comey. Shouts of a handball. Fall on deaf ears. And brilliantly read there by Shamsaid, looking to find Nick George. Josh Ross, beautiful there. And the touches are just getting a bit loose now. Mapoth being closed down by Cody. Gray. Wrestling there with Holoka. As a four, he comes away with it and looks to go over the top for Cody. Cody with bounds of pace, whipping it to the back stick. Gray out to Laurie. There's a soft pass which is picked up by Islami. Thomas rushing out to meet it into Rockas. Rockas, beautiful ball through for Cargbo. And the touch lets him down. Full credit to Rockas with the deft touch. Well, just seeing it now, poked it through beautifully. My apologies. So it just escaped the grasp of Josh Ross. And the grasp of Cargbo was just way too much. George. Rockas. Laurie wanted it to feet. Rockas wanted it forward. Afori. Outside of the boot to find Medeni. Cody dancing around the area with Dangan Mapoth. Gets it off his skipper, and Laurie eventually does enough to set it free. Holoka playing left back now in the absence of Gabby de Oliveira. Holoka. Colborne into Cody. He's got room to dribble into. Mapoth coming out to meet him. It's turned back over to Marayong. And a calamity at the back. Michael Cody, can he finish it for Marayong? Riverstone really making a mess of that one. Dang into the path of Gray, and then off balance. Gray just tucking it away for a throw in. 2 to go left at Blacktown Football Park. Marayong still just the 1-goal lead after their number 10, Majid Islami, got the goal in the 28th. And 2 of the 3 recipients of yellow cards already taken off. Gabby de Oliveira and Siameo. It's Josh Ross, the only boy still in the book. It's Rockas. Has his pocket picked by, I just mentioned, Josh Ross. Cody. Nick George. And the composure of Marayong just starting to edge out. No. Nick George wrestles it free from Colburn, tucks it out to Cargbo. Rockas has a go himself. It's been blocked by Ross. And Thomas looked to put it back in the mixer. Colborne doesn't get a clean touch on it. Afori can though, and he can send Medeni down the line. With Matty Gray chasing, Medeni with a ball over to the back post. He's overhit it as Comey's sent backpedaling to try and retrieve it. And right on the brink of stoppage time, Riverstone have to go the full 90, or the full 100 meters, sorry, to find an equalizer. Mapoth. Bit of pinball going on in midfield as Comey into the path of Medeni, overhits it, looking for Cody. The explosiveness of young Michael's able to keep it in. Marayong will be in no rush to take the throw here. Ricocheted, finally tucked away by Matty Gray again for a Marayong throw. Rockas, being the youngest on the field, also part-time ball boy. Get the game back underway as Lamy looks to hold it up in the corner and chew some seconds off the clock. Majid coming in into Alex George. Cody, bit of gamesmanship there, just shutting down the angle for the goalkeeper. Holoka has brought it down and has thumped it back up to the Riverstone goalkeeper. And Nick George, the benefit of Owusu's poor touch. And Reese, who's been so impressive this afternoon. Now Medeni, 3-on-3. Looks to burst past Dang. Medeni with numbers in the box. To the front post he goes. Alex George coming away with it. Throwing quickly to Matty Gray. There's still time for Riverstone. Goes wide looking for Nick George. Owusu comes out and intercepts down the line for Medeni. Mapoth fires it clear, but into the path of Islami. There's nothing in the tank left for Riverstone. Dang tucks it away. There's still belief here for Riverstone as Laurie carries it forward. And that's two important challenges from Owusu to win it back. Cody offside. Riverstone perhaps with one more throw of the dice. So in their last 3 games against Pons and Marayong, if this is to finish like this, has been 2-1, 2-1 and 1-0. And Riverstone have certainly been in it the full 90. Nick George with the greatest chance of them all after Reese and Ross made a mess of it. And bit off the ball as Islami thumped it clear. Mapoth getting a bit handsy there with Islami. We'll see on the replay what's ended up happening. It's just a bit of gamesmanship. Mapoth just stepped into the back of Islami. I couldn't see whether he stomped on his foot, which is what Majid is currently clutching at. The physio's been called on. Just a bit of back and forth bickering now. Ajak Deng gets into the area. Rivaldo Medeni just doing his best to be a nuisance and put off Jack Laurie. Laurie into the box. And Cody plays it clear for Comey. Islami tucked away by Laurie. Medeni very clearly offside. We're nearly into the 7th minute of stoppage time. And Medeni go into the book for that one. Not the first time he's like to play around with it. Riverstone have looked to go as quick as they can. Sham Saeed closed down by Cody. It's not been Marayong's greatest performance, but it's a get in and get out really on the field that they hope to lift the Graham Whitehouse Memorial Cup in a month's time. And now Medeni has gotten one-on-one to seal the game for Marayong. Beautiful save from Alex George, and Marayong is still in the attacking third. Afori will go to the corner. Dang poked it away, and Marayong will get the throw. And at the end of it all, it's Marayong with the 1 goal in it. He'll take the 3 points home to Harvey Park. After Doonside took the 3 points off Ponds earlier today, and we'll see Marayong go 3 points atop the PL1 ladder with 2 games in hand. The 1 goal coming from Majid Islami in the 28th minute. Full time here at Blacktown Football Park in the round 15 match of the round. It's Marayong FC 1, Riverstone Schofields 0. Join us tomorrow from 3 o'clock as Marayong and Parkley Women's Premier League action here from Blacktown Football Park. And next week, live from Marayong Park, it'll be Oakville and Town Rangers in the PL2. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
That's full time in your Premier League match of the round, the first grade men's fixture here between Riverstone Schofields and Marayong FC. Your goal scorer for this evening, number 10 from Marayong, Majid Islami. The final score today, Marayong 1.